Yeah. Yeah.
Could be as something as simple as that, that I need to release that grudge
Yeah.
and move on, and to something as deep as someone hurting you, recovering from a divorce, recovering from abuse,
Mhm.
recovering from some violent act towards you, and still having to forgive.
Yeah.
And so releasing that grudge, that for me is what forgiveness is all about.
Yeah, man. That's good. And a lot of times I think we forget that that forgiveness literally is releasing, right?
Yeah.
Like you wonder
Mm-hmm.
why many of us are walking around with tight shoulders. You know, we're walking around with tight backs. We're walking around with headaches. And we're
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I've had this headache for the past 5 years. Well, think about what happened 5 years earlier, 4 years earlier. Something had to happen that's really causing your body to have a
Mm-hmm.
physiological reaction to something that we haven't released. Um,
Yeah.
and I look at it the same way, man. You know, forgiveness is more so a healthy space for you in releasing someone or
Yeah.
releasing something. Um, uh, I think too many times we we even take on, like, somebody hurts us, right? We hold on to them by
Yep.
holding on to unforgiveness. And so many times we just keep reliving the words that they said. We keep reliving the actions that were done. We keep
Yeah.
reliving those things that we experience because of
Mm-hmm.
unforgiveness. Um,
Yep.
I liken to it to you can't move forward in a new relationship. You can't move forward in a new career. You can't move forward in a new space if you're holding on to unforgiveness, right?
Excuse
So
me. Yes.
it's like if you did something to me and then I put my foot on your neck, I can't move if I'm holding you down. As
That's
long as
right.
I'm holding on to you, I can't move. And so I have
Right.
to release you. I've got to say, hey, it's your life. You have it.
It.
And recognize that that's what it is. It's releasing the person. It's
Yep.
releasing the experience. It's releasing the power that it had over you. Yeah, it's good.
And even as you're saying that, when we don't forgive, it's like we're literally carrying this person everywhere we go.
Hmm.
All right, we're carrying this person. Imagine you don't like someone and carrying them everywhere you go. You're
Real.
carrying them into every relationship.
Oh
You're
no,
carrying them into every decision. You
no,
don't like the person,
you don't
but
even
you're
like them.
carrying them.
Yeah, you don't even like them, and you're carrying them with you.
You're carrying them with you. You're literally holding them and you're
Yeah.
carrying them, and they're a burden, but you're still carrying them everywhere you go. And we don't realize that that is what unforgiveness means. We're carrying this person wherever we go. We are making them influence our decisions.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that because that person did that to me the other time, and this and that. And as a result of that, I don't like that. I don't want that person near me. And sometimes God could be blessing us with somebody amazing, but because we have unforgiveness from our past, you know what we do? We say, oh, that person there, I can't take them on because they remind me of someone that you're holding a grudge against.
Right.
And so you could be missing out
Missing out, man.
because you carrying that person is blocking you and dictating your pace about your life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever did a piggyback, played piggyback, but watch this. As an adult, not as a kid, as an adult, right? You can't move fast when you're carrying somebody
Mm,
on your back.
nope.
You can't run as fast as you can. You can't succeed as fast as you could because you're holding on to someone, because you're carrying them into your space, and it's doing
Mm-hmm.
nothing but debilitating your future. It's doing nothing
That's
but
right.
debilitating your relationships. Because here's what I want you to say. You said this already. Forgiveness, and I want everybody listening. lean in right now. Forgiveness does not always mean restoration of relationship.
Yep.
Now, sometimes it can. Now, don't get me wrong, it can. Forgiving
Mm-hmm.
someone who you want to be, and here's the thing, who you want to be in relationship with, where there's opportunity for healthy relationship, where there's
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for future and growth and positivity. Yes, forgiveness can become restorative. It can restore relationship, it can restore your life. But
That's right.
when it's something or someone or some group that hurts you, if it's constantly causing you pain, if it's constantly causing you to not be your best self, it's not about restoration. It's just about
Mm-mm.
releasing. And so I want to encourage
That's
people
right.
to that forgiveness and releasing someone sets you free. You're no longer bound.
Mm-hmm.
You no longer have to hold on. You can let go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Release them. Release them from that grudge. Release them from whatever it is that they would have done to you. As I said, it isn't one. And as Oscar is saying, it doesn't mean that you forget,
Yeah.
but it simply means that now you are at a place where you are free.
Yeah.
You are free to make your decisions. You have been set free from this bitterness that is there holding you down. You're no longer bound like that. You're no longer carrying that person.
Yeah.
You're no longer holding that person at ransom for
Yeah.
what they would have done to you.
Yeah.
And that is important.
It's important.
And Oscar, it also can even affect our health.
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Clearly.
it,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
it can affect our health. Studies show that unforgiveness can lead to physical health issues.
Yeah.
Physical health issues, and it is also believed to be linked to cancer. As a matter of fact, a study with some cancer patients, a poll showed that 61% of those cancer patients had unforgiveness issues.
Wow. But
61% of those cancer patients had unforgiveness
but think
issues.
but think about
Be-
that. Think about
Mhm.
that.
Go ahead.
What is cancer? It's a what?
Oscar,
It,
don't test me on my
it's no
on
no no
medical.
no no no. It's a disease. It's a disease. And
That's
what is
right.
disease?
Yeah.
Disease is dis-ease. Your body, your
Yep.
mind, your physical space is at
Mm-hmm.
dis-ease because of you're holding on to these things. You're holding them in.
Mm-hmm.
Heart disease, all those things. It's because your body is holding in on things that you
That's
need to
right.
let go. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
the same way, the same way we got to lose weight to help our heart. You got to lose people. Sometimes you got to lose
Lose that weight,
relationships.
that heavy weight, that
That
dead
heavy
weight.
weight, and I tell you that weight is heavier than my belly.
That's
Oh,
Oscar.
but it's important, and so we have to recognize that when we're holding on to those heavy things, and
Right.
so I think sometimes what you and I are saying, people could say, "Oh, that sounds great, that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome," but the question is how. And I want to help
Yep.
you today. I know
Mm-hmm.
sometimes some of us may be frustrated. We're like, but I have forgiven him. I have forgiven him. But have you ever said the words?
I forgive you.
And sometimes you don't even have to say it to them. Now it would be great if you did. Now don't get me wrong. But we have to learn how to be insane sometimes. And you got to talk to yourself. You got to talk to yourself. You got to say, yo, I forgive them. Yo, I
Yep.
forgive them. It's a process. It's not overnight. It's a process.
It is a process.
And a
It
process
is.
again.
Can I also say that it is a decision?
Oh, yes.
It is
Yeah,
a
man.
decision.
Yeah, it's a
It's
decision.
it's never something that you feel in the mood to do. It's
Come on.
easier to hold on and be petty. It
It is.
is easier to hold on and be angry. It
Yeah.
is easier to hold on to the pain and the hurt than to release someone who hasn't even said sorry.
So the process starts with the decision. It starts with a word. It starts with a
Decision.
decision. Yeah. In your thoughts.
Yeah.
You have to say, you know what?
Yeah.
Holding on to this is not, it's not healthy for me. And if you can't say that, if you haven't decided that holding on to this thing is not healthy for you, then you're going to hold on to it and you're going to keep into the toxic, into the hatred, and you're just going to live in it until you just realize
Hmm.
that your body is just giving way, and then you die with this unforgiveness. You never were free, you never were released. And I love what you said. You said it's a decision, and
Yes,
it's a decision you make even when you don't feel like it, right?
that's right.
And here's the
That's right.
process. Here's the process. You're going to see the person. You're going to remember what happened. And all of that anger may still come up, but you still have to decide again. Nope, I've already forgiven them. I forgave them.
Ah,
I'm forgiving them. I'm in the process. You have to keep saying it. You have to keep making the decision every day, because you're fighting for your freedom. You're fighting for
yes,
your freedom, and you can't allow the bondage and the bounds of the slavery of unforgiveness to hold you back from your freedom. You got to keep fighting until you get free.
that's right. That's right. And you have to be determined because, as you said, you can make the decision today, but because forgiveness doesn't mean that you're fully healed.
Right.
So
Yeah.
forgiveness means that you've made a decision to release the individual,
Right.
okay, or release yourself because some persons, if unforgiveness is with themselves.
Yeah.
However, the hurt and the pain takes time to
Right.
heal.
Yeah.
It takes time to heal. And because of that hurt and pain taking time to heal, there can be times where it is so much that you can go back to that place where you feel as though you want to hit that person again.
Now just
You
say
go
say
back to that place
say it to it. You
where
want to bash their face in. You want to just Yeah. Hold on, let's put a disclaimer on there. The views of the
we're being real tonight. We're being
yeah, yeah,
real
yeah.
and raw because we want you to know that we're not coming with something to be all theoretical. This is something that both of us have had to endure. We would have had to go through this process, and we're being real, 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 real. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you feel to strangle the person.
yeah,
Okay, sometimes you feel like, I don't want to see you. I feel to cuss you out. I feel
yeah,
to tell you something.
yeah.
All of these things because of the pain,
Because of your
but the
pain.
decision is
Yeah,
always there. I make the
yeah.
decision. I release you.
And that's why I wanted to focus on there. Like your
Mhm.
decision and your thought process, watch this, has to supersede your feelings. Your
Yes,
decision and your thought process, your mindset has to supersede your feelings, because your feelings will lead you down a path that you can't recover from. If you just follow your feelings down the rabbit hole about somebody, Lord have mercy, you're going to be down that rabbit hole for a long time. And then you're going to look
hmm,
up and you're going to be underground and not know where you're going. So you have to make sure that you're making logical decisions about forgiveness. And that's why it's
that's
so
right.
important. That's why it's important to speak it, because once you speak it, it becomes real. If you're just thinking it in your head, you're living in your feelings and you're living in your head. And so you got to learn to speak those words as soon as you, and especially if you have to see the person constantly. If it's somebody at work, if it's a co-parent
Mm,
or something that you're at church or somebody you're dealing with, you have to you have to constantly make that decision and speak the word, even if it's just to you. Yeah, they will lead you down a road of destruction. That is the truth. And you don't want to
that's
get in that road. Your feelings. Here's what I say. Feelings are real because you got to be aware of your feelings, right? Your feelings are real, but they're not fact.
that's
You,
right.
your feelings may tell you you don't have the power to forgive this person, but I'm going to tell you, you were created with the power to forgive. You were created with the power to let people go. And so I want to encourage you, allow your decisions and your thoughts to supersede your feelings. That's important, man. I
That's right.
love that you said that. That's good stuff.
Yeah. And it's like with everything, whatever we want to do in life. If it is we want to start a business, we have to make a decision to start a business, and we
Yeah.
can't go based on how we feel because there are days where we'll feel discouraged.
Yeah.
If it is that we want to start working out, we have to make a decision
Gotta
and
make a
commit
decision.
to it.
Yeah.
And even the days when when we feel lazy, we still do it.
Yeah.
And so even with forgiveness, it is a decision. And when the hurt and the pain come up, when the feelings of low come up, you still make that decision that I
Right.
have already released this person.
Yeah.
I have already said, I forgive you, and I'm going to leave that day. I'm going to leave them there. I'm not going to take them up again and try to carry them again. That's too heavy. But not going to go back into bondage,
Yeah.
emotional bondage with this individual. I'm not going to go back into spiritual bondage
Yeah.
with this individual, even though they may have gone their merry way.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm going to move forward. In mentorship last night, we were talking about building a healthy relationship with self, right? And
Mm.
one of the things that we talked about as it relates to forgiveness is that sometimes the person, okay, is there and they are still doing wrong, and you have to forgive that person overall,
Yeah.
even though they're still doing wrong.
Yeah. 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 And it's
And that's hard because there's no change or repentance in their behavior. You're
right.
still seeing them do wrong. But even as you step away and you see them do wrong, you still have to release them. You still have
Yeah.
to not hold that grudge about that.
Yeah. But it's
And that's
because
hard.
it is. But you have to remember that forgiveness is not about them.
That's right.
See, a lot of times that we get stuck there because we think, oh, I'm not going to forgive them and let them go. You have to, because it's about your health. It's about your peace. It's about your sanity. And it came to me yesterday as I was thinking about this, and um, we all watch movies, we all watch TV shows, we all watch these things. Um, when you hold on to unforgiveness, you are giving that person, you're giving that thing a starring role in your life.
That's right.
When you forgive them, even if they have to stay in your life, you're now putting them to the side. They're now a background character. They're now an
That's
extra.
right.
But you're not focused on them. You're no longer allowing them to take up the space of your life. And once again,
That's
this is
right.
a process. This is nothing that just happens easy. It's nothing that you can just flip your fingers, snap your fingers, and it happens. This is a constant
Mm-hmm.
process of focusing on what's most important. And that's really the good relationships. That's the positive relationships. But if you're holding on to the negative ones and you're holding on to the negative people who've done you wrong, who are constantly doing you wrong, then you'll be sucked into them and they will become the main character of your story, of your show, of your life. So you gotta release that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't want them to be dictating the pace and have you as supporting actor or actress when they are taking the main stage in your life. No, no, no. You're the star of your life, your purpose. Get them. I love it, Oscar. Get them to the point where they're an extra. Passing now and then. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-mm. They're no longer have a front row seat to what is going on in your life. Just for those who would have joined the live, I'm here with Oscar Banks, a life coach from the US, and we're talking about the purpose and power of forgiveness. Powerful, powerful topic where, when we see a world that is filled with so much anger,
Yeah.
bitterness, persons making decisions, and people are saying it's okay to not forgive. All right. Someone said, I think Jacqueline Walker Johnson just said that she also did a live just last night on the same topic,
Yeah.
forgiveness, because this here we have to get the word out that forgiveness is critical
It's critical.
for us. It's critical. And so we're sharing tonight about the purpose and power of forgiveness. And so if you know someone who needs to hear this, feel free
Sure.
to invite them to the
Sure.
live.
Sure. Sure.
And
Sure.
feel free to share the live. This isn't something, it's not an exclusive club. This is for everyone to hear, because it is important. And if you have questions, feel free to share your questions. If you have comments, feel free to share your comments. I see Gail has put, forgiveness is all about you. Unforgiveness has a hold on you, not the other person. It tends to weigh you down. That's
Yeah.
correct.
It
Yeah.
weighs you down and it holds you back.
Mm-hmm.
When you hold on to unforgiveness, instead of you releasing the person, watch this. When you hold on to unforgiveness, you're releasing your power. You're giving them your power. So all of your powerful
Wow.
energy to do anything positive, forward thinking, and all, you've just released that to that
Yep.
person. And so once you release them, you take back your power. You take
That's
back
right.
your focus. You take back your life. And then you'll be free to have healthy relationships. That's what I was. We were talking last time about surviving toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
And in forgiveness, especially if, once again, if you have to be in relationship with this person or these people who are toxic, how
Mm-hmm.
you deal in that is you don't just ignore them and be petty about it. You just limit your communication. So
That's right.
if there's a conversation, if there's a question, if there's something that has to be talked about, limit your answer to one, two, or three words. You don't have to
Yep.
drag it out. You give them an answer and you move on, because that is a part of
That's
the
right.
process of learning to forgive. Once you start getting into the weeds and you start arguing back and forth with that person, you're slowly giving them back the power. And then you're creating new episodes in your mind that make forgiveness even harder. So limit the communication. Let them have their say. Let them have their stuff, and you just keep moving forward and say, "Hey, nope, I've already forgiven them. I've forgiven them.
Yes.
I've forgiven them. I feel angry right now, but I forgive them." And you got to keep speaking to yourself, because I promise you that becomes your power source. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And a lot of I can speak from, I know a lot of men go through unforgiveness as well, and I know you're going to talk about that from a male perspective. But I know a lot of women, because of relationships, um, have, when it seems like they seem to repeat cycles
Mhm.
as a result of unforgiveness. They seem to repeat the cycles of the type of person. It's as though there's a sort of expectation that this person is going to let me down. This person is going to hurt me. And so that helps the bitterness and the unforgiveness to grow within them. And by the time, sometimes we meet someone who is really, for us as women, we have up so many walls because of unforgiveness, because of the hurt and the pain that we would have gone through. And we have up so many walls that we literally push the person who is genuinely for us, someone who genuinely loves us, away. And that is those past relationships having a hold on our lives.
Mm.
Those people in the past that you haven't forgiven, that you haven't released for the hurt and the pain that they would have done, you now say they are now dictating and telling you when good and nice comes your way that, hey, that's not for you. You don't deserve that.
Yeah.
And so we have to release so that, and as I said, I'm speaking from a female perspective, where we have to learn to release so that we can let the right people in.
Yeah.
And we can be healed and not let persons in and hurt them. They say hurt people hurt people. And
Right.
so when we don't forgive, we're now allowing ourselves to this person who we didn't forgive to dictate who we can be with and who we can't be with.
Yeah.
And so we have to release them. Don't carry that baggage into new relationships. Don't carry that baggage. Leave it in the past and move forward to new relationships, to what it is that God has in store for you. Relieve those people in the past. Drop them off. Release them.
Yeah.
And know that God has something good for you. God has a blessing for your life. And don't let that dictate your pace.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Oscar, from a man's
So we had,
perspective?
but I'm going to touch that. But we had a sexy eyes 12. I don't know who that is, but but they asked the question. They said,
Oh,
suppose that's not enough for them. What are you to do about it, both relationships and otherwise? Here's the piece of it. A person, a person who is toxic, they're going to be relentless to get a rise out of you. They're going to be
mhm,
relentless to make you relive the hurt that they've caused you. They're going to be
mhm.
relentless to have you keep them as the center of their life. But you have
Yep,
to be just as relentless to limit communication. You got to be
that's right.
just as relentless to protect your peace. And I'm going to be real with you. I can't tell you what that is for your life, right? Like, that's not my
Mhm,
job. That's your job. You have to make those decisions based on your life. You have to make those
mhm.
decisions based on your power structure of how your life is set up. You may be living with the person who you have to forgive every day, who you have to forgive every hour, every minute. And so you have to decide on how you address that person in those situations. But I
That's
will.
right.
But let me touch it as a man who experiences hurt and pain in relationships, who has
Mhm,
experienced the need to forgive. Right. On one
mhm,
end, we begin to build up callous in ourselves. So as a man, when you've been told and dogged down, when you haven't forgiven that other person, and then you try to move into another relationship, it may look like, you know what,
mhm.
I'm not opening up to this person because they're going to try to use that against me to hurt me, just like the other person hurt me. So I'm gonna hold tight on my feelings and my emotions and all those. I ain't telling them that I
Wow.
love them. I ain't going out for that. I'm gonna be a man. I'm just going. And we
Right.
put we put on all this hard shells and these layers and these pains, and we keep the good person at a distance.
Mm,
And so as a man, it's all, if we go into protection mode, we go into war mode, and because we're holding on to this unforgiveness, we look at these other people who are coming, we see them as part of the other side. And we make it
that's right.
harder for another person to then infiltrate and come onto the inside of us. Um,
Mm,
and so it's a difficult thing. It's a hard thing, because once you've been hurt by somebody, once you've been dogged out by somebody, once you've been made to believe something that somebody says about you, it's
mhm.
hard to come back from that. It's hard to regain your strength and your power. But that's why we keep
Right.
saying it's a process. It's a
That's right.
process. I'm going to encourage you. You got to find a therapist. You need to find a coach. You need to find a mentor. You need to find somebody who's been where you are, but they've gone through it. They've fought through it so that they can
Yeah,
help coach you through it. They can
that's
help
right.
guide you through it. They can encourage you and empower you to take back the
Hmm.
power that is you. But you have to
That's
be
right.
willing to do the work. It's not easy. Y'all listening to
It
this,
isn't.
45-minute, 1 hour conversation, it's not going to lead to a breakthrough. But it hopefully
Right.
plants a seed that you recognize that this is a process. It's a daily process. It's a yearly process. And so what we're talking about here is releasing. That's what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is
Hmm.
releasing someone or something, or at least the power that they had over you, the power that that
That's right.
experience had over you. But Sharice, I want to shift real quick. We're
Hmm.
talking about forgiving other people, but what about forgiving yourself? See, a lot of times we're struggling, not only because we're holding on to unforgiveness from somebody else, but we're also holding on to forgiving ourselves. We're also
That's right.
not loving ourselves, and which is gonna, what does it say? Scripture says, love your neighbor as
Loving
you love
neighbor
yourself.
as yourself.
And so if you can't love yourself, if you can't forgive yourself, you definitely can't forgive somebody else.
That's right.
And so I want to look
That's
at that
right.
that A of awareness, right? Of how do
Yes.
how do we learn to forgive ourselves in this process of forgiveness?
Yeah. And it just brings me right back, as I said, to what we were talking about last night. Those who are from Women Arise who may be on right now, um, we were talking about building a relationship with self. And part of that is releasing yourself from the things you may have done wrong, because sometimes when it is that you may have had, you know, you may have done things and then you come to that realization, oh my gosh, look what I would have done,
Yeah.
or you realize that you would have hurt somebody, or sometimes you blame yourself.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily a fault, but something has happened and you would have blamed yourself for something. And it's important to also release yourself from that and say, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And don't hold on to that pain. Don't hold on to the pain and blame yourself. And even as you say that, I sense, some as though someone is on with a lot of sadness just hearing that, because
Mm.
they are blaming themselves for things that have gone wrong in their lives, things that may have gone not the way that they would have planned for it to go. I just felt your pain. I literally just felt a sadness close to tears. But I want to encourage you that, hey, it's okay.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay. You can release yourself. You don't have to keep punishing yourself, because a lot of persons who haven't forgiven themselves, they punish themselves. They don't think they deserve anything good. And I want to encourage whoever it is out there, if it's
Yeah.
someone who is listening live or who may listen to the recording, that listen, you don't have to punish yourself.
Yeah.
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Right.
We all do. We all have a past. We all
Everybody.
have done things that, we should not have done. And to release yourself,
Yeah.
release yourself from that, from holding that grudge against yourself.
Yeah. And again,
Release yourself.
and again, I
Mhm.
want to I want to encourage you, to talk to yourself. Like, stop
Yeah,
stop stop thinking that only insane people talk. You got to cover your heart and just say, "Yo, I forgive you. Yo,
yeah,
I love you. Yo, you're worthy of love. You're worthy of
yeah.
forgiveness. You're worthy of hope. You're worthy of a
Hmm.
good relationship. You're worthy to have a good
Yes,
man in your life. You're worthy to have a good woman in your life. You're worthy. People do
yeah,
love you. People do care about you. Have to talk to yourself. You have to look in the mirror You have to look at yourself and forgive yourself by speaking love to you.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? Like as a man, that's so important. Uh,
Hmm.
because as
Wow.
we go into this world, and I'll just be real, there's a lot of people who already give men a leg down. Oh, I'm sure that he's the reason. I'm sure that he. And so, as a man, even if you haven't done anything yet,
You're still
you're
wrong.
walking out feeling guilty. Like, damn, what? And so, as a man, we
Hmm.
have to learn to say, "Yo, bruh, you good. You're loved.
Yeah.
You're forgiven. Yeah, you made the mistake, but you're forgiven." You know what I mean? And so speaking life over yourself. I love affirmations. I am love. I am life. I'm light. I'm confident. I'm forgiven. And I forgive. I hold the power and the key to my life. When you can speak those
Wow.
words over yourself with confidence and truly believe it, bro, sis, your life will become brand new. You'll begin to
That's right.
operate in that forgiveness. You'll begin to operate in that
Hmm.
power that is you. I'm telling you, it's a whole different ball game when you're operating like that. And then you can forgive other people because you've already done the work in forgiving yourself. You've already done the work on building yourself up. Because
Hmm.
oh, I didn't want to say this. I'm gonna say it anyway though.
Yes, see it.
Only the strongest people can forgive other people. When your mind is strong, you're able to release. When your
Hmm.
mind is strengthened, you're able to forgive. When your mind is empowered, you're able to empower yourself and hold your power. But when you're weak minded, when you're slowful minded, when your mind is
Hmm.
not the strongest, that's when you operate in your base self, your bottom self. That's when you operate in
Hmm.
unforgiveness. That's when you operate in toxicity. That's when you operate in hatred. That's your bottom self. That's at the base
Wow.
level. And so we have to learn to strengthen ourselves. We got to learn to operate and dig deep and pull out the power within us so that we're operating at that higher vibration. So we're operating out of our highest self, not out of our lowest self. And I want to tell you
Yes.
this, all of us have that lower self. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yes.
Every single one of us has a lower self. Every single one of us,
Yep.
we're one decision away from operating at that lower self. So once again,
Hmm.
I'm gonna reiterate, this is a process. This is a
Yes.
process. You got to constantly be building that strong self up so that you don't operate at the weakest point of yourself,
Yep.
right?
Yep. 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 That's powerful what you said, Oscar, because it shows that we can have that basic instinct to just react.
Yeah.
But when it is that we make a decision, that choice, I'm going to take the high road. I'm
Mm,
going to do better. I'm going to do what is right for myself, and I want to push forward. I'm looking at the bigger picture,
yeah.
which is I have a purpose. I know who I am. Then I'm not going to allow toxic people hold me back
Yeah.
with their negativity, with their negative behavior.
Yeah.
I'm going to release them and move forward because I'm looking at the bigger picture rather than just focused on what it is that, oh, this person did this to me. Because what I believe that forgiveness gives us unforgiveness makes us feel like a victim. But what
Mm,
forgiveness does is that it helps us to understand
yeah.
that we are more than conquerors because you
Well,
have to
yeah.
conquer that emotion.
Yeah.
And so forgiveness now helps me to move from that place of what was done to me now understanding the situation, learning from the situation, releasing the person, and becoming a better person as a result of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
I am now a better person because I went through that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not a victim. No, I am not even just a survivor. I'm a conqueror.
Come on. Come on. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I am victorious because of what it is that I've gone through. I know what it is to go through. And as a result of that, now I can help persons come to the other side with me.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking the low road and staying petty and staying all in that lower level.
Yeah.
I'm now moving to a higher level. I know who I am.
Yeah.
I understand who I am. And so even when you think I'm going to come back at you and clap back at you, I'm there all over you. I'm going to show you so
Yeah.
much kindness if I have to, because you're going to wonder what's going on.
Yeah.
You're going to wonder because I'm over it. I am stronger because
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I'm stronger because of it. And so I'm not going to allow anybody to bring me down to a place where I am a victim.
Yeah.
Or I am feeling sorry for myself, or I'm operating in self-pity, or not going to allow you to bring me to that place of low self-esteem, or low self-confidence, or not feeling good, or feeling like a failure. No. I'm not going to give you that power over my life.
Right.
But I'm going to rise up, I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to move forward because I have work to do.
Yeah. Because the truth is, the enemy, I don't care what form or shape the enemy takes, the enemy's job is to kill, steal, and destroy your
That's
future,
right.
your peace, your relationships, your mindset, your love of self, your love of God, your love of people. The enemy wants to destroy all of that. And so if you operate in what Cherice just said, if you operate in that space where I'm going to do it, that's why I'm using the language of fighting. Like, you got to fight for your life. Like,
That's right.
forgiveness is fighting for your life.
Yes.
It's literally pushing yourself beyond your feelings. And feelings are powerful. Feelings are they're good feelings and they're bad feelings. Feelings are powerful things. That's why we're doing this, right? Like we talk so passionate because we're tapping into your emotions and into your feelings. Feelings can
Oh
be
my
great
God.
things, but feelings are powerful. And those negative feelings can drive you and drag you down. And so you got to
That's right.
fight with positive reinforcements. You got to fight with tools and weapons that will push you into deeper into the process of forgiveness. That will
That's
push you
right.
deeper towards your purpose and your future, your future relationship, your future freedom. You have the
Yes.
power to do that. But if you allow those feelings, if you allow those emotions, if you allow the enemy to kill, steal, and destroy that, uh,
Mm.
it would be sad because you
That's
won't
very
be able to
sad.
operate fully. You won't be able to love fully. You won't
That's
be
right.
able to dream fully. You won't be able to pull somebody else up who's now going through what you went through because you're still holding on to what's back there.
That's right.
I tell people all
That's
the
right.
time, what you're going through is not about you. What you're going through and your process is always about you becoming stronger to help somebody else come through what they're going through. And then that
That's right.
person goes and helps somebody else come through what they're going through. So all of
Mm-hmm.
us are designed to operate and be victorious in our lives, not just for us, but for everybody who's coming up after us.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oscar, I know we just have a few minutes, but somebody may be asking, well, how do I start the process of forgiveness?
Yeah.
Where do I start? And first thing is, as we were saying just now, recognize is confront the issue.
Hmm.
Confront the issue. And when I say confront the issue, I don't mean that you get into a combat with anyone, but it is recalling what has happened and what have you learned from it.
Yeah.
What have you learned from it? And embracing the fact that you feel hurt by what this person would have done.
Yeah.
Embracing the fact that, you would have gone through certain things, not to stay in a place of self-pity, but to move from that and go to a place where now you are in the process of healing, where you
Yeah.
acknowledge, yes, this person has hurt me, and I no longer want to hold on to them. And I am going to just close my eyes, see them, and say, I forgive you.
I forgive you. Yeah.
I release you.
Yeah.
And that is hard. And sometimes you're going to have to say it a good few times.
Yeah.
But starting right there, because it's the process of healing, it's the process of moving forward and not being stuck in that situation anymore.
Yeah.
So you confront the situation in your mind and just deal with it. And
Yeah.
sometimes you need someone to work with you through that. Sometimes it's not easy
To
to
do it
go
by
through
yourself.
that on your own,
Yeah.
especially if it's traumatic, and you're trying to now deal with the situation and overcome. You're going to need someone to work with you.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay. But deal with it. And Oscar, I don't know if you want to say anything concerning that.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say when you're talking about acknowledging, get a piece of paper
Mhm,
out. Like literally, you don't have to write out everything that transpired. Just write the name down. Think about and become aware who who have you not forgiven? Who do you
that's right.
hold when you sit in your by yourself without TV and anything else? Who weighs heavy on your heart? Who
Mhm,
who do you feel angry towards? Who do you feel angry about? Even if it's yourself, write the name down. And then you
mhm,
operate by that. You say, "Hey, John Snow, I forgive you. Susan, I
mhm,
forgive you. Marcus, I forgive." You got to go down your list because just saying it and going
mhm.
through the practice of saying it fully begins your process, making that decision to acknowledge that these people cause me pain and
That's
I
right.
am forgiving them starting today. That's the start
Yep.
of a process. And once again, it's not a magic bullet. You're not just
Nope.
going to wake up tomorrow and say, ah, I'm free. Well, you may.
Who knows?
I didn't. I no. It took me time. You may be so super powered that you are just one stop shop free from forgive. It took me, and it takes me processes. And some days I feel
Mhm.
free, and then some days I feel in captivity.
Yeah.
Some days I feel like I'm soaring with the eagles, and some days I feel like my foot is still on the neck of that person. And so
Right.
it's a process, and none of us are perfect. Forgive
Yeah.
yourself through the process. When you feel those feelings, acknowledge those feelings and forgive
That's
yourself for
right.
feeling that way. And then keep moving, keep forgiving, keep
Keep
operating
moving
in your higher
forward.
self.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then
That's right.
tap into Cherice. If you want a coach who can lead you, who can help guide you, who can support you, tap into Cherice. You can tap into me. But then
Yes.
also for those traumatic things, those deeper seated things, get a
Hmm.
therapist.
That's
Find
right.
somebody who you can confide in, who can lead you through exercises to find your mental peace, your mental health
Yes.
space. That's a healthy space for you to fully live in forgiveness. Because if you're not
Right.
mentally healthy, then nothing that we're talking about is going to help. If you're not
That's right.
if you're not mentally in a space where you can logically and thoughtfully forgive people and forgive yourself, then nothing that we're talking about will help. So
That's
you got to
right.
make sure that you're doing your work in this process.
Hmm.
And that's all I got
Yeah.
tonight. I know we're running on time. Um, uh, but Sharice, I want to thank you. for this fun time again. Crossing conversations with Cherice Joe and Oscar Banks. Cherice is a
Yeah,
life coach, a pastor, a mother, a change agent in the world. She runs this Women Arise, which is an amazing program. Tap into her,
yeah,
tap into that, and let's make love go viral together. Amen.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. And Oscar is also a pastor, a life coach. He has a program called Mentality. He's rating me up and not rating up himself. What's that?
We rolling.
He has mentality and he's doing amazing things as well. And so, yeah, if you're in the US, you can contact either one of us. If you're female, you can contact me. If you're a man and you're looking for a coach, you can contact Oscar and we will be willing to work with you to help you, whether it is in terms of life situations or you can contact me if you're into business, because I believe that, you see, I put the life coach and business together, because if it is that you're not healthy emotionally and stuff, it affects how you do work.
Mhm.
It affects how you do work. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you don't have confidence in your business, so it affects how you do work.
Yeah.
So yeah, so definitely tap into us. This Sunday, I'm actually going to be doing something with on Zoom, so stay tuned. It's going to be Pillow Talk for Women, and all are invited to join in for that. Pillow Talk for Women, we're going to talk about issues affecting women this Sunday at 7 p.m. It's going to be on Zoom though, so if you're interested, just message me and I will send you the Zoom link for Sunday at 7 p.m. All right.
Yeah, and
So yeah, go ahead, Oscar.
I've got a podcast that's coming out that I'm on Sunday at 11 a.m. It's called Soulful Sunday. So I'll be promoting that, and so y'all can tap into that too. And we're
Yes.
digging. So we're moving. Let's do it, Sharice. We killing it. Let's go.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Oscar, as usual, it's always a pleasure
Yeah,
chatting with you. Yes, and thank you all for tuning in. Thank you. I know you could have done other things with this hour, so we're really thankful that you chose to be on, you chose to be here, and you chose to listen to us. And we pray that something that we would have said would impact you in some way, help you in some way, motivated you in some way, as you continue to heal from the past, continue to deal with forgiveness, deal with toxic relationships, whatever it is that you're going through, just continue to push forward, push forward, push forward. Don't give up. All right.
all right.
So God bless you all. Have a good night. Bye, Oscar. Sorry I couldn't see you tonight. I'm just seeing me.
Peace. We right here with you.
Take care.
All right. Y'all be good.
Take care. Bye bye.
Peace.